Dad, can I share with them? Maya's voice trembled as she pointed across the cafe. At the next table sat a tired single mother and her little boy staring longingly at the stack of pancakes in front of Maya. In that moment, Ethan realized his daughter was about to teach him, and everyone around her, a lesson more powerful than any business deal he'd ever made. Ethan Lewis was used to power. He was a self-made millionaire, CEO of a thriving tech company, and a man who people looked up to. But every Saturday morning, when he stepped into their favorite corner cafe, he traded in boardroom pressure for something far more precious: time with Maya, his bright-eyed, kind-hearted 8-year-old daughter. Their weekend ritual was simple: pancakes, orange juice, laughter, but to Ethan, it was what really mattered. On this particular morning, however, something felt different. As they settled into their usual booth by the window, Maya's attention drifted to the table beside them. There she saw a woman, quiet and weary, pushing a piece of toast toward her young son, her eyes filled with both exhaustion and love. The boy, no older than 5, watched Maya's pancakes like they were a treasure chest. Ethan noticed Maya's gaze. He saw the compassion in her eyes, and then the hesitation. "Do you want to offer her some?" he asked gently. Maya shook her head softly. "Dad, not just my pancakes. Something more." Ethan's heart tightened. He wasn't sure what she meant, but he didn't interrupt. He watched her gather her courage, pick up her plate, and walk over to the other table. "Hi," she said with a small, confident smile. "I'm Maya. Would you like to have these pancakes? I already had a few, and," she paused, taking a breath, "my dad and I can order more, and we'd love to share with you." The mother blinked, surprised, her cheeks flushing. She opened her mouth to refuse, probably out of embarrassment, but Maya didn't let her off that easily. "It's okay," Maya continued, her voice firmer now. "My dad says kindness matters more than money." Ethan followed close behind. He felt exposed, raw. His daughter was brave, generous, qualities he admired yet rarely displayed so openly in his business world. He cleared his throat softly, and the mother looked up, startled. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice cracking. We were just trying to make do." Ethan pulled a chair, sat down. "Let me help," he said quietly. He signaled the waiter, and when he ordered, he asked for 2 extra meals, for the woman and her son. For a moment, the cafe seemed to hush, as if everyone around sensed something extraordinary was happening, a small, beautiful bridge being built between 2 very different worlds. As the kids chatted shyly about cartoons and playgrounds, Ethan and the mother, whose name was Rosa, shared a quieter but deeper conversation. Rosa told him how she had lost her husband 2 years prior, how she was doing her best to raise her son, Micah, alone. She worked 2 jobs, sometimes 3, just to make ends meet. There were nights when she worried about where their next meal would come from, or whether she could afford new shoes for Micah when his grew too small. Ethan listened, his chest tight. In his world, problems were solved with capital, strategy, and innovation. But Rosa's problem was something far more visceral: fear, uncertainty, and a lack of safety net. He realized that no amount of money could fully protect someone from the vulnerability she felt. But perhaps, he thought, it could be used to help. When their plates arrived, he quietly insisted that Rosa's breakfast was on him, not as charity, but as an invitation to share. He extended the offer to help her beyond that cafe visit, maybe with school fees, or by connecting her to people who could support her long-term. Rosa hesitated. "I don't want a handout," she said, voice firm but kind. Ethan nodded. He didn't want to help in a way that made her feel indebted. He wanted to empower her. Over the course of the morning, he proposed something courageous: a small scholarship fund through his company, dedicated to single parents who were striving to give their children a better life. Rosa, stunned, didn't know what to say. Her gratitude was overwhelming, but she also asked for time. She needed to think about it, to make sure that this wasn't just a business photo opportunity for him, but a genuine support system. Maya, meanwhile, fidgeted in her chair, brimming with joy. She had shared, not just pancakes, but something much bigger, her heart. And in that moment, Ethan realized that what she'd offered was far more valuable than any boardroom negotiation: it was love. As they left the cafe, Rosa knelt to hug Micah close. Maya waved, grinning. Ethan felt tears prick his eyes. He bent down, put his arm around her. "You were amazing today," he said. Maya shrugged, as if it were nothing. "I just wanted to help," she said softly. But to Ethan, she had done something profound. She reminded him, and herself, that wealth wasn't just about what you had. It was about what you were willing to give. Challenges and resolutions. Challenge: financial and emotional. Rosa struggles with being a single mom, working multiple jobs, and barely making ends meet. Resolution: Ethan doesn't just give her money, he offers respect, dignity, and a real opportunity by proposing a scholarship fund. Challenge: pride and independence. Rosa is hesitant to accept help, worried it will make her feel indebted or pitied. Resolution: Ethan frames his help as empowerment, not charity, giving Rosa agency and a seat at the table. Challenge: childlike innocence versus social barriers. Maya is young and naive about social divides, but her innocence becomes the bridge. Resolution: her offer to share leads to genuine connection and a larger change, showing that kindness transcends boundaries. Inspiring message. By the end, the story shows that small acts of generosity, especially when offered with humility and respect, can spark real change. Maya's simple question, "Can I share with them?" becomes the catalyst for a deeper transformation in how people see each other, how they connect, and how they can lift each other up. Ethan learns that real legacy isn't built just on business success, but on compassion, empathy, and shared humanity. And Rosa, in turn, learns she is not alone, that her strength and dreams matter, and that people will help not because they have to, but because they choose to. If you like, I can map this story exactly to a 15-minute YouTube narration script, with pauses, scene directions, and emotional beats. Do you want me to do that?